Yay Media Group.
The
Oh,
roach
my
went
God.
and my grandma kept eating her noodles.
No.
And then she's like, no, we paid for this. And she kept eating. My grandma's like old school. Like
She just flicked it away and kept going?
and kept going. And my grandpa too. And my
Wow.
mom and brother. My mom said her and my brother were both sitting looking at each other. And they're like, bleh. Hey guys, episode 110. Okay. I, this morning, had this craving for Panera Bread has the best hazelnut coffee. Does anybody go to Panera Bread for that?
You know who had its good hazelnut, just because we're jumping right in? When we went to the stock show, was it Daz Bog? Is that how you say that? Daz Bog?
Yeah.
I got hazelnut coffee and it was so good.
Yeah,
they might have pumped the hazelnut sugar in there because I'm really trying to cut out my sugar.
And so maybe.
So they might have pumped that in there and that's why it tasted so good. But anyways.
I do love hazelnut coffee. It's just my favorite type of coffee. Like Starbucks, I do not like their drip coffee, their Pikes. I think that's the name of their drip.
Yeah.
It's not as good, but it's different locations. Like I think if I'm getting drip coffee, McDonald's has really good coffee if you get like 2 creams in there, and then Panera Bread. But you know what? When I was a kid, my mom and I think I was in like middle school. We always would go to Panera Bread. I remember it was new. It was like the thing. It was slammed all the time. Me and my mom always went and got French onion. And it's kind of, you know, when things get super chainy, just like we talked about Outback, it's just not really there. The people working, they're just kind of like not happy to be there.
Nobody
at
cares
all.
anymore.
Yeah. I mean, these are things we've already discussed.
I know.
But like today, I mean, whatever. I feel bad because I always put myself in their shoes, and the customers might not be as happy, but every time I go into the Panera by us, it's all old people and it's so cute. They're all meeting. They must be in some type of group, like some type of older people group, and they all just meet up at the Panera and have coffee in the mornings. So I always see it, but you can tell it's not like how it was when I was a kid.
Because I think a lot of things, like we've talked about this in the past for sure, with Outback, with Portillo's, you know, I think it comes to a point where you have to constantly be making money, you know, for the investors and keeping that brand up. And while you're expanding, while you're trying to make money, you're doing cutbacks. You're not paying the wages that you probably should. I don't know if that's the case for all these scenarios, but you always pull back a little. Let's make the sandwich a little bit shorter. Let's take out olives in the salad. You remember how American Airlines did that one time? They just took out like black olives to save like X amount of money on their food. Now they just took out food altogether. So it's every year they're adding on charges, whether it's your bags and the airlines or taking away that free food or free drink. It's always something to make a little bit more money. And then the personal relationship that maybe you had when you were a kid. Also, it might just be that you're older and you see things differently too. It might just be exactly the same, but I think it's more that they cut back a little bit. They cut corners and you notice after a while.
I do think the airlines should, you know, in first class, when they get meals, I do think the tickets are just as expensive for Coach. Like, I feel like they should give people more than just pretzels and peanuts. They should give somebody a little.
Well, they don't
something.
give peanuts anymore because everyone's allergic. So peanuts are out. It's just pretzels.
That
now.
is right.
Yeah, pretzels. And I've said this before because I feel like I always want to stick it to the airlines. When they're like, would you like a Coke? I'm like, yeah, sure. I'm like, can I get the can? And I'm like, uh-huh. And I feel cool because I got the whole can. Like I'm sticking it to them. You know, they just pour a little bit and then they hand it to you. I'm like, let me get the whole can. And they're like, okay.
My dad's girlfriend's a flight attendant for American Airlines. And she said, the grossest thing, don't use the blankets. And I have used the blankets when we've done really long flights where I've done that from LA to Charlotte and they give you a blanket. And I always think about that. I'm like, are these really clean? And she said the tray tables always wipe the tray tables off because they're super germy. When I had Lawson and he would sit on my lap, I would always sanitize everything because little kids are touching everything. I still can't believe I did. He sat on my lap for 5 hours, and Lawson was not one to sit still.
He's just a little baby.
I know. I don't know if I shared that story. There were these guys Thank God I was sitting around them. There were these guys going on a bachelor trip and they were so excited because they were getting away from their families and going to have like fun. And they're all like drinking or whatever. And I'll never forget on that flight, Lawson grabbed the guy's drink and dumped it on his lap. And I could just feel my body
And you were by
sinking.
yourself. I wasn't
Yeah,
there.
I wanted to just my eyes filled up with water. Like I wanted to cry. And I was like, this guy's about to cuss me out. And I was like, I am so sorry. I will buy your drinks the rest of this flight. I am so sorry. I mean, he had a big old wet stain.
But he was cool
And
about it.
He was so nice to me. And then they took Lawson and they were bouncing Lawson around to each friend to give me a break.
Dude,
And
they were going to Vegas.
They were having the best time, but they were so nice about it. Like I thought he would have been, he goes, I have a wife and kids at home. He goes, I totally get it. But I was a new parent at that time. So I wasn't experienced. Now that like I'm really experienced, if that happened to me, I'd be like, oh my gosh, don't even worry about it. Like I wouldn't even care.
Yeah, because when you have kids, it's
You
different. It's the
get
same
it.
as that crying kid on an airplane.
Yeah.
You have sympathy and don't care as much now because you have kids. And the people who don't have kids, they're like looking around like it's the worst thing ever, and it's
That
like
one flight
yeah.
that we were
oh,
on.
man, don't get me started. I've talked about this and I get so pissed at those people.
But anyways, yes, and they were just like country guys and just so nice. But anyways, I will never forget that. I wish I knew that guy's name so I could be like, I never forgot about you. And then how them passing Lawson around.
How about just be a good person? How about that? Everyone's trying at each other's throats and this and that and the other things. How about just be a good person? Then you leave someone with a good memory. You know
right.
what I mean? So just be a better person. Going back a little bit to what we were talking about, like cutbacks and things like that. We're not drinking obviously in January. I can't wait. Oh, when does this come out? It's Wednesday. Oh, this comes out Monday. So it's Wednesday when we're filming it. Man, did I get drunk this weekend? Saturday is February 1st, and we are planning on maybe going out to dinner, and then we have a friend's house that we're going to go to and have some drinks. So we're definitely drinking this weekend. I don't know how bad it's going to get, but I'm going to have some fun because I'm looking forward to it. But anyways, in the meantime, I like giving myself like little treats and stuff. And one of the treats that I got into, I don't really drink a lot of pop, soda. But I do like once in a while, like a Diet Dr. Pepper or sugar-free or zero sugar Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
And another thing that I found that we're doing this diet, but it's not really a keto diet. I love kava because we were talking about like stores.
You always loved kava.
I love
when
kava.
you worked at DBL.
Yeah,
That's where you would stop.
I got into like this habit because I just put it in my app and boom, I'd go pick it up. Okay, so 2 more reasons to stay off the internet. One, I was just like scrolling the other day for no reason. I really got to get off the internet. I really think it mentals with my mentals. I really think it messes with my mental acuity or whatever. It really does.
That's everybody.
I get up in the morning. Today I got up at like 5:30 for no reason. I come down here. I drink a cup of coffee and I just put something on TV. And all of a sudden it's like 6:15. And I've been scrolling for like a half hour. I'm like, what am I doing on this thing? And I'm getting pissed at the same time. I'm like, I got to take this out of my life. But the point I'm making is, one, I saw this thing on Coke Zero, and they're like, Coke Zero is not as friendly as you think it is. There's chemicals, and they broke it down into what they really put in there. And I was like, oh my God, don't tell me that. And I like scrolled away to something else. And I was like, man, I just want to have a treat once in a while. Like I can't even have a Coke Zero without me feeling like I'm poisoning myself. But I think anything in moderation is fine. But it kind of turned me off a little bit. Then I saw something on Kava that they don't get in kava, no stones. I love you. But they were saying like, I forgot what the percentage was. And I don't even know if this is garbage or not, but they don't have as many A ratings as other like fast food restaurants. So like McDonald's has like a 93% A rating across the board. Right. So, when restaurants get the grade, they had a really low grade for as far as A ratings go.
Oh, like the food
Like
rating.
it wasn't cleanliness,
Ooh.
like the cleanliness of kava.
My mom would never eat at a restaurant.
But see, I don't know if that's bullshit or like the internet just trying to get clicks or like these are things that I like. And now I look on the internet. Sometimes ignorance is bliss and I'd rather not know. I don't want to know about politics. I don't know about kava, people doing what they do. I just want to enjoy my life. Can I just enjoy something guilt-free without feel like I'm offending somebody or hurting somebody or myself? It's like, Man, can I just be happy?
But don't you remember when you worked in the restaurant, when the people were coming to do the grades, like they were freaking out. Everybody was cleaning everything. And it could be something, the smallest thing, and you get marked for it.
Yeah, but universally that they're lower like
I would never
that?
eat at a restaurant that was like a C, maybe not a B either. I don't know. I'm weird about
Listen,
that.
I'm going to Kava after this. So Kava up.
My mom, grandpa, grandma, and brother, this was long time ago, went to a Chinese restaurant to eat. And
Oh boy.
my grandma got noodles and a roach.
Oh, shut your mouth.
I swear to you, came out in the noodles.
Live?
My mom.
Oh my God.
My
no
mom
way.
went to the bathroom and vomited and could not eat and was like, okay, my mom is so weird about if it's a B or a C. And the roach went and my grandma kept eating her noodles.
No.
And then she's like, no, we paid for this. And she kept eating. My grandma's like old school. Like
she just flicked it away and kept going?
And kept going. And my grandpa too. And my mom and brother. My mom said her and my brother were both sitting looking at each other. And they're like, bleh. And my grandma and grandpa, I mean, like I said, if there is a crumb, my grandma puts it in a bag and you're going to save that. And that's going to be at lunch for the next thing. They don't care. They still eat. Yeah.
Oh my, that's
I'll
old
never
school.
Forget
That's
that
old
story.
school. Oh my God.
My grandma goes, we paid for this.
You know what's weird? Like, you know how people like not die, but it's the people that I hate actually, but that like run waiters around and they're just looking for a reason, like to be like, I want this free. Take this off my bill.
Gosh,
you know, like those people.
yes.
I can't stand those.
And then they don't tip.
In every aspect of their life, I hate everything about them. Like just that, I know I won't ever like you as a friend or anything. Anyways, I don't want to get into that. But if something like that happened to me, I would be so mortified. Like I would never go back to the restaurant, but I also wouldn't make a huge thing of it. I'd be so embarrassed for them that I wouldn't make a scene. Like I'd be like, everybody put their stuff down. Let's get out of here. We're never coming back here. But they would be so mortified in dealing with, there's a cockroach in my thing. I wouldn't say anything. I would just run out of there.
Yeah.
And I'd pay for it and everything. Like if there's a hair in my food, I'm like, we're done. It's done here. I don't want to make a big deal about it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I wouldn't either if something like that happened. Cause like you said, I mean, I waited tables too.
Yeah.
So you feel embarrassed and I wouldn't say anything, but it is the people that are the quietest that don't complain. Like when we went to Outback, it was horrible service, and not to sound like those people, it was so bad, but we still tipped like 25% because we know how it is. And people are struggling. People are trying to make money, but we didn't complain. Lawson's like, I didn't order this. We're like, Lawson, eat it.
Yeah. It was, but that's a good lesson for your kids. Don't be that person.
Yeah. Because your kids too, if you're one of those complainers, your kids will be that way too, because they see that's how you are. There were people when I worked at the hair salon too, that would try to get out of paying for their hair.
Yeah, people just do that in their lives. And that's another thing that pops up on my internet too. People like trying to get out of social media. Anyways, let's take a quick little break. We went a little over there and then we'll come back and complain some more.
Jeff is the typical man when it comes to washing his face. You were the guy. You've been using your J.Lo beauty, but you were the guy just using like soap and water. You have beautiful skin, though. You're very blessed.
Thank you.
Naturally,
I appreciate that. Skin. But as you get older, as men creep into their 40s, you have to do something to maintain that manly glow.
Yes. We both use J.Lo beauty.
Yes.
I like the Blockbuster. And it's really good. The serum is great.
The serum is my favorite. I actually ran out of my serum because I used it all. And I went over to yours to use some of yours.
I actually thought you were going to say the eye cream because you love rubbing stuff on your eyes.
Are you saying I have bags?
No, you just love like the eye cream, I thought.
I come with baggage. But the J-Lo Beauty Kit helps me out. And that's why we absolutely love it.
So get that J-Lo Glow with J-Lo Beauty's Deluxe Kit. This is the one that we have. It's the one and done skincare solution, clinically proven to boost your skin's radiance and luminosity for an immediate and lasting glow. The secret is J-Lo Beauty's 5-step routine, featuring 5 multitasking formulas designed to cleanse, refresh, and prep your skin to take on the day. And the J-Lo Deluxe Kit, it's easy to follow, AM, PM solution that gives your skin a smoother, visibly brighter look, improves the appearance of lines and wrinkles, and protects against UVAs and UVBs. And that's what I was saying with the wrinkles. Jeff loves the serum and the eye cream.
And that's why I really love that Blockbuster hydrating cream. My skin is so much more plump and dewy. Yes. And I see why 100% of the people from an 8-week clinical study who tried it had smoother skin. Also, I just love the container it's in. It's so radiant and beautiful, and it makes me feel special about myself.
Yeah, the packaging is great. The packaging makes you feel important too, because it looks like a very high-end skincare with the packaging.
So get the only skin routine you'll ever need. Head to jlobeauty.com/togetherness, that's MESS, to receive 20% off plus 3 free limited time offer gifts. Head to jlobeauty.com/togetherness for 20% off and 3 free limited time offer gifts, a $175 value. That's jlobeauty.com/togetherness, MESS. Welcome back. So another thing that I saw on my doomsday social media, I like a little lemon in my water. And then I saw some doctor like popped up on my thing. I don't know why all these things are popping up. I guess if you wait like 10 seconds and actually look at the whole video, your algorithm all goes to that. So I saw another one about like lemon water. You know, like people get like a little lemon in their water instead of getting a drink, or lemon in their iced tea or something. And they were saying how dirty that is.
Really?
Like everything's like doomsday. Like because you don't think about like washing a lemon, you know, and you really don't. I don't think about washing a lemon, but they said there's like fecal matter and all these like gross things on a lemon peel that restaurants or you even at home don't realize. And you just put that in your water and drink it.
I love lemon in my tea.
I do too.
That's my favorite.
But now it's like all these things are in my head. Now the next time we go to a restaurant, I see a lemon and I'm be like, did they clean that lemon? Or should I just get over it and be like, your body kind of grows up. That's why your kid's playing the dirt, because your body becomes acclimated to that. And it's like, you shouldn't worry about all this stuff.
My dad was at a lunch with a pharmacist yesterday, and I called him, and I was like, Dad, I saw this thing, because my dad's on Manjaro because he is a diabetic. And I go, I saw this girl crying, and she said she got cancer from Ozempic. And my dad goes,
what?
Yeah. My dad goes, dude, get off the internet.
Yeah, he saw it on the internet.
I saw it on the internet. A girl crying because she said she got bone cancer from taking Ozempic for a year. And I guess she already was skinny, but she took it to get even skinnier, I guess.
Yeah.
And she was crying. And I told my dad.
Sorry. I thought you was at a restaurant. I'm like, how did he get to that?
And my dad was at lunch when I called him. He was having lunch with his pharmacist. And of course, my dad is having lunch with he's friends with the pharmacist. And so my dad goes, hang on. After he told me to stay off the internet, he goes, hang on. Hey, dude, do you hear anything about cancer with Ozempic?
Oh, yes, the pharmacist?
Yeah, ask the pharmacist. And he goes, I haven't had one patient have cancer from that. My dad's like, stay off the internet, dude.
See?
And then, but one little thing, like you said, you hear all this stuff. And if I'm not taking Ozempic or any weight loss shots, but if I was and I saw that, then instantly I would have anxiety, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm taking it. Is this going to happen to me? Or if one little thing goes wrong, then I think almost like a hypochondriac. I think like something's wrong with me. And then I put it in my head. And then sometimes I'll see these things. It's like what I was thinking, and it pops up on my feed. And I'm like, is this thing reading my mind? And then I feel crazy.
Listen, I'm with you. I'm definitely turning into a hypochondriac, and I
used to be the opposite.
Me too.
I didn't care about anything.
Yeah, it falls on the floor at a bar, whatever. It's a chicken wing. I'll eat it. You know what I mean? Now you're like, oh my God, put that, especially when you have kids. You're like, don't put that in your mouth, you know?
I check on my kids. I'll wake up in the middle of the night because I have to pee, and I'll like go and check on my kids every time, and I'm like staring at them. Are they breathing? I just do stupid things like that.
Yeah, we need to let go a little bit more.
Well,
Like
that's what gives you, I think, anxiety. That's what makes you crazy. And I do think social media, I told you this, I do post because so people can see the episodes, and I do work on social media, like influencing and stuff. But sometimes I get really tired of it because I get tired of the people criticizing you, the comments sometimes, which everybody's pretty cool. But just
it's the majority are pretty cool. I would say we are very lucky.
Yeah, we are.
Even the people that followed us from like our journey from the beginning, fantastic. You know what I mean? They're so great. I'd say 90% or more of my comments are positive.
Yeah.
But as human beings, there's something in our nature that we only look at the negative ones. And that's everybody. I mean, and how many times have you heard that? This is on repeat, but we still all do it as human beings. Like, you got to get to that post and ghost stage.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at. I post something and
then you run.
And then I don't look at the comments because I don't care what someone in middle America who's going through trauma of their own and half delusional and half mentally insane thinks about what I'm doing.
Yeah, but when you worked at DBL, it got to you sometimes.
Well, people are writing like 15-page letters to my boss and the whole company that I saw. I mean, those people are obviously mentally deranged
with your views.
Right. But then my boss would see it, and then my boss would have to pass it to his boss just because they got that. Do. And that's the same thing that happened at CBS. This person got it, and I have to do my job, so I'm going to pass this up along the line. And then those mentally insane people that hate their lives are somehow now have a voice, and they're getting to the top of whatever network or your job or whatever you work out there, and they're having some sort of voice. That's why people are doing those things, because they just want like, hey, look at me. If you're like, hey, man, I really liked what you posted. I liked your outfit today that your husband got you. He does get good gifts. But if it's something like that, you're just like, oh, thank you. You know, you just write like, thank you. And that's the end of that. If you really go above and beyond and you're mentally insane and you're, killing rabbits in the kitchen, like Indecent, what's that movie? What's that movie where they kill that lady's wearing a shirt and she's like boiling a rabbit? You know what I'm talking about?
Is it the one when she traps the author in the house?
Is it Richard Gere? Anyways, you know what I'm talking about. Boiling bunnies, those crazy lunatics. What is it?
Fatal Attraction.
Fatal Attraction.
Oh, Fatal Attraction.
I was thinking Indecent Proposal. Anyways, I got off track.
Ooh, Indecent Proposal.
Was that with Demi Moore?
Yeah, that's
and Robert Redford.
I watched
Woody
that
Harrelson?
a couple months ago for the first time. It was so good.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, Denise, man, she's beautiful.
Would you do it with someone else for $1 million?
No. You'd have to pay me a lot more.
Times are tough over here.
After taxes? No way.
Tax free. Just going to give you a briefcase.
No. You'd have to give me a lot more money.
I'd think about it.
100 million? Okay.
$100 million to have sex? That's insane.
There are some rich people out there that are pretty desperate.
But you know what? When was that movie filmed?
In the 90s.
In the 90s? So say inflation, 10 million now. Would you do it for 10 million?
I don't know. I'm weird about that. I always was weird about sex. I've only slept with 2 people my entire life. You and the guy I lost my virginity with. I'm just weird.
I know. But
about
10 million.
Stuff like
you know
that.
when those...
I always was scared of getting an STD.
Well, yeah.
Or like, I don't know. I was just weird about, I just never was one to just sleep around. I always was like, very like, ew, don't touch me. Get away from me.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about the 10 million and what I'd do for it. You know, people are like, what would you do? You know, those conversations everyone has. What would you do for $10 million? Would you suck it? I think I'd suck one for $10 million.
Ew.
It's $10 million. But then everyone would know about it. That'd be the only thing. If you do it like in the secret, like Indecent Proposal, he doesn't tell anybody. It's just him.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think if you're paying for that, you're
But then you got to live with like I slept with some gross guy or something, or you know what I mean?
Nasty.
And like how much therapy
it's
to get rid
like
of that.
OnlyFans. Like I people who use it to, I mean, good for you if you're making money. But they said there was this girl, well, I don't know how true this is. I saw it on Instagram. Me and my neighbor were talking about it, that she retired. She made like 63 million, something like that on OnlyFans, just doing things. Like, I think it's just not,
You got to
you're
live
not
with yourself after that.
you're not respectful to your,
some people
your
it doesn't
body.
bother. You know what I mean? Like some people are like, get it, girl, go get yours. I'm more old school. And like, I know we're joking around and having fun, but I'm more old school and like, listen, I understand you got to do what you got to do, but there is that like late at night when you're laying in bed, you know, I mean, I've hoarded myself out in auditions. And when I say hoard myself out, I don't literally mean that. I mean, like you do like when you have to dance in a commercial and stuff.
Yeah.
I like in bed, it's not like I can't go to sleep. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I just did that. You know what I mean? And that kind of keeps me up. Like what are you doing? Imagine like doing something that I really regretted, you know what I mean? To make a buck. It's like, that's got to weigh on you a little bit, right?
Yeah, like if you were single and had kids and that's like your way of income, I get you trying to make money, but then if your kids found out or like people knew you were doing that, I don't know. It's just like you got to have some type of respect for yourself. And if I was single and knew that there was a guy that was, let's say, trying to date me, but I knew he slept with multiple women, that would just be a turnoff for me. And I know men are just horny people and just want to have sex all the time, but and they have more than two. I think it's very rare somebody like me doesn't have a lot of numbers, but I just would be like, ooh, like you're dirty.
That's okay. I know now it's like bad, like to say that. You know what I mean? I don't know. Whatever. To each their own. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. Maybe do a little couple Crabbies.
Yeah.
And then who we want to sleep with. And then, no, I'm just kidding. We'll be right back. So when was the last time you needed to go to the doctor, but you pushed it off and you made the excuse, I'm too busy, or I got this new trend that I saw on TikTok or some other social media experiment that people are putting out these days?
Or I can't find my insurance card. That's me. I'm always like, where did I put my insurance card? Because, every time you call, they need it.
And I think we've all been there. Booking a doctor's appointment, it just feels daunting. Even though the people are super friendly that I talk to always in the doctor's office, just making that call is kind of nerve-wracking for me and I think a lot of people.
Well, because you want to make sure you find the right doctor for you.
Right. And then sometimes you don't want to think that you're getting taken advantage of in any sort of way.
Right. But thanks to Zocdoc, there's no reason to delay. They make it so easy to find and book a doctor who's right for you.
Whether it's your doctor who rushed your appointments or belittled your symptoms or hit you with a surprise bill, you shouldn't have to settle for mediocre care. But now, thanks to Zocdoc, you don't have to. You've got options.
Zocdoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors and click to instantly book an appointment.
And here's what I love. You can filter for doctors who take your insurance and are located nearby and are a good fit for any medical need that you might have.
Once you find the right doctor, you can see their actual appointment openings, choose a time slot that works for you, and click to instantly book a visit.
And appointments made through Zocdoc also happen fast, typically within 24 to 72 hours of booking. You can even score same-day appointments. I love that.
Same-day appointments are so hard to get.
So stop putting off those doctor's appointments like me and go to Zocdoc.com/togetherness. That's MESS to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's Zocdoc, ZOCDOC.com/togetherness. Zocdoc.com/togetherness.
Welcome back. Here's a couple Dear Crabbies for you guys. Thank you for sending these in too. Olivia, hi, Jeff.
Wait, before we get started, it is Monday, right? And
so we already launched
TogetherMess gear. Yes, we always do this at the end of the episode, but I don't know if people make it to the end of the episode because they get tired or bored or distracted, whatever it may be. But our TogetherMess merch should be out right now. Our plan is to launch February 1st, which is Saturday. Again, we're filming this on Wednesday. Today is Monday. So our gear should be out. This is one of the items on there. We only have a couple items. Go check it out. It's TogetherMess.com. Just a couple items to see how it goes. We're going to be changing them up, having all different kind of options. We're going to have holiday options like 4th of July and Christmas and all that stuff. But we're just putting out a couple samples and stuff, dabble in the clothing industry, promote the podcast, obviously. Not looking to get rich or, take advantage of anybody, but just something that we've done. I hired a couple of my old buddies that I played football with. It's a good way to get together, start a small business. We're going to have bumps along the way. But if you want to support us and check out that gear, go to TogetherMess.com and check it out for yourself. There's limited options of each size and quantity and things like that. So get them while you can, and we'll have discount codes coming up and things
we
like that.
tried to make it as affordable as possible.
Right.
Jeff and I went through and tried to crunch the numbers, but on our end, it's really expensive because we wanted high quality things. I shared this on my Instagram story. So, again, trying to give you guys the best quality, but
again, nobody's getting rich here.
Down.
It's just more so for the business aspect of things. I've learned a lot on the journey already. I know some people are like, why don't you just go to Shopify and get it done and put it out there? We didn't want to do that. We wanted to help some other friends out. They wanted to help us out. And I wanted to learn a lot about the process as I move on, because I want to start small businesses later on. I want to do the Jardiniere, and this helped me.
Well, Jardiniere's next.
Right. This helped me get a good base of like how things work, getting an internet. There's a lot that goes in with the credit card companies if you're not just using Shopify. So anyways, I know all this is boring to people, but check out TogetherMess.com. Get some gear if you're so inclined. Okay,
ready? So this is from Olivia. Hi, Jeff and Jordan. I know it's positive to look forward in life, but if you had to go back in time to a moment in your life and start from there, what point would you choose and why? Ooh, that's a good one.
That's a great one. Oh man, this is a great sit around the fire drinking question. But I think I would. Oh man,
I don't know if I would go back.
Yeah, it's tough to. There's points that I regret in my past that I think about a lot. Specifically, one. There's many of them, but. Again, they taught me a lot about who I am and where I am in my position in life right now. I know I'm not on top of the world, but I have a great family. We have a great house. I can't complain a lot. I could be in much, 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 much worse scenarios. But if I could go back, I think I would have got into acting maybe at a younger age. And who knows what that would have brought. Maybe that would have brought something terrible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not saying a child actor, but I wish I got into the arts a little earlier. In my career. I waited till after my football career to kind of really pursue those things. But I think I would have wished I got into that a little bit earlier, like in high school, in college, and things like that. That's just one jump off point. There's a lot of times where I was doing nothing in my life in my 20s after I failed in California. So I would like to change that. But all my failures are all part of my growing experience, and I look at life that way. And I just think everybody should, you're going to make mistakes. There's going to be things that you regret. Nobody's perfect. And you have to kind of accept those things to accept yourself as a human. Otherwise you go crazy. You drink, you do drugs to try to block out all those feelings. And I'd rather face those feelings head on and learn from my darkest moments and not be that person anymore. And then everything I've learned, pass on to my kids as a father, as to my experiences and what to do and what not to do.
There's nothing really I would change. I feel like everything has brought me where I am now. So I don't know. Maybe going back, I should have enjoyed when it was just Lawson and I think being more in the moment, and I was so sleep deprived and just doing everything on my own. That
you also had postpartum depression, so it wasn't all you.
But I think I wish I would have. It's just something with the kids, maybe giving myself more breaks so I wasn't so, because then I was just exhausted and not in the moment. And if I go back and look at photos, I'm like, I should have enjoyed that a little more, but instead of being frustrated. So maybe something like that. The only thing I can think of.
My boss, Bert, my old boss who we had on the show, we still stay in touch. He texted me today, sent me a picture of his daughter.
I love Bert.
Yeah, she had another kid and he took a picture of his two grandkids next to each other. And now I was going around the house yesterday, our house, and I was
Mhm.
looking at in the living room, like the old pictures and then the ones we put up in the living room. And I was like, our kids are so big and time
Mhm.
goes by so fast. And I wrote Bert back. I'm like, that's exactly what I wrote. I'm like, time goes by so fast. And I was just literally walking around our house yesterday by myself looking at old pictures, and I'm like, it made me really think like you gotta just live in the moment. You
Mhm.
can't look at your past as regrets or coulda, shoulda, woulda, and I maybe would be here. You don't know that.
Yeah.
You don't know what would have happened in the past if you could have walked down a different path. Enjoy the moment that you're in and be thankful for the things that you have instead of thinking about things that you don't have and that life could be so much better because the grass isn't always greener
Yeah.
on the other side. And these are things that I tell myself every day to like really justify where my mind goes when I go to a dark place.
Yeah. Okay.
What's up?
Next
You
one.
looked at me all weird after that.
No, it's true. I like this Christmas. Leighton's obsessed with elves. He still is. And I'm like, let him embrace the elves because next year he might not be into the elves. He's got 2 elf on the shelves, a stuffy elf. He's got all the elf pets and he sleeps with them. He puts them all around his body, lines them up, and he's like, they protect me. And I'm
Let
like,
a
all
kid
right.
be a kid. You know what I mean? Let a
Exactly.
kid be a kid.
I'm not like, oh, that's weird. I bought him some elf shoes with the roller elf shoes, but now I'm like, okay, that wasn't a good idea.
Yeah, because he's Leighton.
Because it's Leighton. Okay. Carla, hey guys, love your podcast. Jeff is just like my guy in the way he complains about how expensive everything is. The new tipping strategies at every place you go, laughing out loud. I bought him tickets to come see Cody Jinks at Red Rocks in July for his Christmas present. Interested in what the weather is like in July out there and if there is anything that is a must do in Denver as I have never been. Thanks. Well, Red Rocks was, we tell everybody that.
You got to go to Red Rocks if you're in Denver. I think so. And see a concert there. It's really magical. You're up high. You see the whole view. You see Colorado, downtown Denver. I don't know. I really love the feeling when I'm there. And it's something I would suggest that you do if you're here in the summertime.
Right. Also too, Golden has this tubing that you can do. If you go there, it's really fun. You just go down, what is it? Like the Creek River. And then there's also one that you can do that's by Breckenridge Brewery. And then a lot of people do that tubing and then they go to the brewery after and like have drinks.
Well, there's so much. That's
much
just kind
outdoors.
of our area where we live, the Breckenridge Brewery to Red Rocks. That's kind of like our stomping grounds. But Colorado itself, just outside of Denver, has so many great mountain towns.
Yeah.
So while you're enjoying Denver itself, Denver proper, if you go to we have all the sports teams here, which is amazing. But just those little mountain towns, pop up there, get a cabin for a night. They're pretty close. You get to drive through the mountains, the little switchbacks. That's fun.
Go to Evergreen.
Evergreen's great.
We
That's
always
not
go
far
to
at all.
What's that bar we go to?
The Little Bear.
Little Bear, and they always have a band playing, and you can just staple $1. But we've done it a bunch of times.
I think it was an old church, like in the 1800s, 1800s that they converted into a bar. But again, that's if you're going to Red Rocks and you keep going up the mountain, then you get into Evergreen. But like I said, there's Golden that's up here, and there's just a bunch of little towns. Now, Colorado, is that in Golden? Colorado University where Dion coaches? That's Boulder. Yeah.
You're thinking Colorado School of Mines.
Yeah, exactly. But like I said, there's so many little mountain towns and things to do around here. I love Colorado.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of people like going to Boulder to 16th Street. I think it's the 16th Street Mall. You can shop around there. They have really good coffee shops. I always take
Are
like
you talking
my
about
family.
Boulder?
Boulder, yes.
Or the 16th Street down?
No, it's 16th Street in Boulder too.
Stay away from 16th Street downtown.
Don't go to 16th Street downtown Denver. It's actually not good. Everybody says that it's not good anymore. Stay away from that. But if you go to Boulder, it's fine. And then if you like murder, like documentary stuff, you can ride by John Benet Ramsey's house if you like that. I always do that.
Okay, so don't listen to anything we just said. Google it and find out your own stuff. All right, before we go, let's read a little one of my positive quotes and then a good note. Again, these are just random. My mom got me these a long time ago, but here's another one. Even the most daring and accomplished people have undergone tremendous difficulty. In fact, the more successful they became, the more they attributed their success to lessons learned during their most difficult times. Somehow these always relate to what we're talking about.
It's so weird.
Said that. Hold on, there's more.
Okay,
Adversity is our teacher. When we view adversity as a guide towards greater inner growth, we will then learn to accept the wisdom our soul came into this life to learn. I don't know who Barbara Rose is, but she wrote that. But it's so fun. It's exactly what we were just talking about.
And we don't pick this and plan it. Jeff has them face down.
Here, I'll shuffle them up for next time. But
that is weird. It's always like what we're talking about.
Maybe, I don't know.
It's a sign.
I think maybe we're just trying to put a little positivity in each of our podcasts subliminally and not even know it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you for tuning in, supporting. Hope you love your merch. If you got some, let us know what you think about it. Continue to download, subscribe, tag your friends, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Yay Media Group.